Hey guys, it's the Fisher Brad, and today I'm going to be giving you guys some awesome hunting tips. Now, if you're anything like me, I am always non-stop busy. I got school, I got work, I got a girlfriend, I got a bunch of friends, I go fishing like every day. Life can get tough, so like me, I haven't even shot my bow yet. I haven't even got my camo picked out yet or nothing like that. Now, after all the stuff I just mentioned, I am always very lazy as well. I have to practice shooting my bow today. Today is the day before October 1st, which is opening day for bow in Michigan. For buck anyway. And yeah, so I got some tips I'm going to start you off with right now. So first thing first, guys, is you want to make sure you have comfortable camo clothes. If you're climbing a tree, you don't want to be stiff and tight. Like me right now, I just now tried my camo stuff on from last year, and my pants feel super loose. I can totally stretch up and down all over the place. But my belly right here, nice and tight. So that really doesn't have any effect for me though, but eventually I might get a new pair of pants. Another thing I got also is I got some nice sun shields. I actually got these free from a company called Free Sun Shields. It was super cool. I also got some nice camo gloves I'll be wearing. Now, when you're pulling back a bow, you want to make sure you're comfortable with it. This one is super easy to pull back. Super comfortable once you get it pulled back. I still got to actually go put a sight on this and everything. Like I said, I am very far behind today. I'm probably going to end up just sighting this in just before dark. Now with hunting, you want to stay consistent. You want to stay the same size arrow, the same weight of the broadhead. Like when you're practicing, you can put a practice tip on, but you want to make sure you use the same gram weight as you would your normal broadhead. I'll be running 28-inch arrows. Just like a decent amount, it gives it a little more weight and everything, but I actually got this bow for free, so a big shout out to Daniel. He gave it to me for free last year. But super excited. Like I said, I'm going to go get a bow sight for it. I'm also going to get one of those finger triggers. You could pull back and just hit the trigger and it releases. It makes it a lot easier compared to grabbing it. You could be inconsistent with your grab and releasing. Now this varies a little different for everything you're hunting. I'm going to start off with spring turkey. Now for spring turkey, I found out there's no corn in the fields. So I'm able to walk straight across and go to my spot. Now when I normally deer hunt, I normally hug the tree line and go all the way around and get to my spot. Now with turkey, they stay up in the trees until it's time to go down in the sunrise. And I noticed that if I stay right by the edge, they all fly away. It's just the basic things you learn with hunting. So with deer, I always stay by the tree line, get to my spot, sit down, be extra quiet, because you never know. You could sit down and 5 minutes later, it's happened to me before, within like 3 minutes, a deer comes right on out. Now, turkey have really good eyesight, so if you're going for turkey, you don't have to wear orange while shooting a shotgun. I learned that the hard way. I was hunting for a whole week with orange. I'm like, why are these guys not getting any closer than 60 yards? Oh, well, Brad, you're wearing orange. So yeah, turkey got good eyesight, so keep that in mind. Now for deer hunting, the regulations are changing in Michigan. You're not allowed to bait, and you have to have a specific urine sample kind of thing. It's like, just the basics, like it has to be licensed and blah, 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 this kind of format. So I don't really know what the logistics of it are, but I'm not using it at all just because I don't, I haven't even took the time to look into it or nothing. So one thing I actually have to do is I have to get a new hat. I'm obviously not wearing this hat out there for archery. I have to go buy a new hat. You can buy them at Walmart for $4. That's where I buy most of my hunting gear. It's super cheap stuff, though, but it works awesome. You can get some pretty cheap deer stands for like $60, $40. Pretty much everything you need there. The arrows, you can get your licenses, your tags, everything like that. One thing you guys definitely want to get is a rangefinder. I actually got mine in my truck. You can use it. You definitely want to use it. Not you can. You definitely want to use it when sighting your bow so you know exactly how far away it is and where you'll hit. And just take your rangefinder out there with you, kind of scope out, like this is 40 yards at this tree, this is 40 yards at this rock, this is 30 yards at this limb, and it'll help you a lot. So you don't have to bring that rangefinder out when your deer comes in motion, because you don't want to move at all when you have your target in range of shooting. You don't want to move at all until you're ready to shoot. Another amazing tip I have is you want to get that GoPro on you. I might put some duct tape on that kind of matches my camo set, but the good thing about this is if it's recording and you shoot a buck or a doe or anything like that and it walks away, you can actually record and know exactly where it walked away and what path it took. So if you're having problems finding the blood trail like I did one time, it'll make it super easy to find that blood trail, know exactly where that deer left. Now another thing is you don't want to rush a deer. I actually did that once on my birthday and it worked out perfect. I actually gave my deer a heart attack, I think. But what happened was it was my birthday. It was morning hunt on November 12th, and I was hunting with a crossbow. I was out with Daniel, and it was like 15, 20 minutes into the hunt. I was like, man, I got plans today. First deer I see, I'm going to shoot. And a doe walked out. I got in, shot it once, and I was like, man, I got a bad shot. It got it like right behind the gut, like right in front of the lower leg. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run up on it and shoot it again, get another shot in it. Well, anyways, what happened was I ran up on it, it crossed over a river, fell over, and died. I don't even know how. It was the worst shot ever, but me and Danny were like, is that my deer over there that just fell? Crazy things can happen, guys. But definitely just keep at it, you know. If it's your first time ever hunting, you want to make sure you do everything right. Another great tip is you always want to keep your camo outside. Some people wrap it up in pine trees, where I normally just leave it out on the porch. There's also some scent eliminator stuff you can get, and that'll help out a lot. What I used to do last year was I would spray deer urine over where I'm hunting, you know, so it kind of masks my scent. But since you can't really do that this year without the specific special stuff, and I never really went into looking at getting it or nothing like that, just make sure you, like, if it's your first day, you just washed your clothes, wrap it up in some pine trees or something to give it that extra scent. But if you haven't washed it in a while, you can just leave it outside, let the wind kind of air zone it out. Now, squirrel and rapper are a little different. For squirrel, you know, they run up in trees, they run all around, and they'll make you think, oh, a deer's coming, oh, a deer's coming. Oh, no, it's a squirrel. Oh, another squirrel, another squirrel. I'm not even going to look. It's probably a squirrel again. Turns over. Giant buck. So, yeah. These guys right here, this was actually the first squirrel I ever shot. It was pretty cool. It actually took me a couple times going out for squirrel. You know, I didn't really start hunting squirrel, like September 15th, the opener around there. But I didn't even go for them until like December. So it was pretty chilly. But, you know, they were really cool. They were a lot of fun to target. You know, you get them on the move. Now, there's two ways you can hunt squirrel. You can either hunt squirrel by pretty much just walking all out there, you know, making a lot of noise and watching them try to run away, and then you can shoot them. Or you can be super quiet, which is my favorite. I like to be stealthy, and you see them, like, crawling somewhere. Just get a nice shot and just peck them off. This right here is my first coon. Now, you can get them with trapping or anything like that. You can also hunt them. There's, like, a tiny period where you can hunt them. But they're really fun to hunt, too, and trap. You know, trapping's it's all its own thing. So I'm going to show a different video for trapping and everything like that, how to rig up different traps. There's multiple traps, like coon traps, which are like, you know, they won't hurt your dog. They can't get in them. Then there's conda bear traps and a bunch of other stuff like that. There's also beaver traps, which enclose. So I'm just going to go over the basics with you one last time. You always want to stay consistent with your arrows. You want to have a nice camo set that you're comfortable in and somewhat keep you warm. You know, you can put a camo jacket on too, but you know, I normally like to rock out the single layer. The same company brand too, normally they match really good, so I normally buy the same company throughout my whole, like my shirt and pants. Now I also wear some nice boots, you know, to keep the mud out. You know, you don't want to be wet, get your shoes wet or your feet wet, and then you're just soaked and the hunt is just miserable. Now, another thing you do is you want to make sure you have a case, because you're supposed to have a case. So, I always keep my bow in a case, obviously, when transporting. You also aren't supposed to put your arrow on until it's ready to be shoot time, so you want to keep that in mind, too. Last but not least, you guys always want to try to get out there first thing in the morning. I always try to get out there an hour early before sunlight. You don't want to spook anything out coming in, especially if you're hunting public land. If you actually get out there 2 hours early, it's actually the best time to hunt public land for deer. Just because everyone's coming in an hour early, so they'll actually push the deer back to where you are. Last year was my first year ever hunting, and I had a blast. I loved it. It's such an adrenaline rush, especially when it's your first time ever. I actually, for the first time ever, hunted a deer, so it was super cool. I actually seen one my first day, and I actually shot one my first day. But, you know, sometimes it's harder in some areas, so you just got to stay consistent with it, you know, keep at it, you know. Just keep trying harder and harder. This year I'm going to go for a bigger buck. This is the buck I shot, you know, obviously last year. But, just keep going at it, guys, and good luck.